please hit that subscribe button. Hey everybody, better suited to win the Stanley Cup this season. If you are new to the channel, Washington Capitals, the Boston Bruins.
Lockdown and he scored! And we're live. Hey everybody, so it's time for another episode of Enforcer Hall of Fame. Today we're going to be talking about one of the most forgotten and underrated enforcers in NHL history, the New York Islanders' all-time leading penalty minute leader, someone with a ton of penalty minutes throughout his career, a ton of fights throughout his career, yet is almost never mentioned, never talked about, and almost completely forgotten as an NHL enforcer, and that is Mick Vukota. So, before we get into it, I just ask that you please hit that thumbs up button and give this video a like, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Both of those things really help out a lot and are very much appreciated. So Mick Vukota was a right wing in the NHL, largely spending large majority of his career with the New York Islanders, all except for one season. He played 11 seasons in the NHL, 10 with the Islanders, and then split at the end. But he came into the league in 1987 and played with the New York Islanders from 1987 all the way through 1997. And then his final season, which was 1997-98, he split between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Montreal Canadiens. He played 573 career games in the NHL, scoring 17 goals, 29 assists for 46 points. Obviously was not there to score points, and had 2,071 career penalty minutes. He had over 2,000 career penalty minutes, and this is a guy, I mean, it's hardly ever talked about. His name is just not mentioned or brought up at all, and you think back to the 80s and 90s and all of the legendary fighters that were in the league back then, and Mick Vukota is just largely forgotten, and it's a shame because he is the all-time franchise leader in penalty minutes for the New York Islanders. It's not like he was there for 10 years. It's not like he was only in the NHL for a few seasons and then was out. He was there for 10 seasons in New York, and then he played his last season, obviously, split between Tampa and Montreal. But very, pretty long career for a fighter in the NHL. Over the course of his career between the playoffs and between the playoffs and the regular season, he had 186 fights in his career. His most fights in a single season came in 1991-92, where he had 31 fights that year. That is quite a bit over the course of one NHL season. His best offensive season came in 1989-90, where he had 12 points. Obviously, he was not much of a point producer. That was not his role on the team. And both of those seasons, he was a member of the New York Islanders. Those were obviously where he spent most of his career and had the best years of his career. 6 times in his NHL career, he went over the 200 penalty minute mark, and 9 times he went over the 100 penalty minute mark. So he was certainly not shy, not afraid to rack up the penalty minutes, and did it for many years in the NHL. Like I said, he spent 10 years with the Islanders from 1987 to 97, and then finished up with Tampa Bay and Montreal in his final season in 97-98. But Mick Vukota, a guy that I wanted to get in here because he is very much largely forgotten. Not a lot of people know about him. Not a lot of people know his name or remember him. And he was a guy with over 180 NHL fights and over 2,000 career penalty minutes, but he doesn't get talked about the same way that so many others of these fighters do. I mean, the list from the 80s and 90s is endless as far as guys who are recognizable fighters and names that you would know. But for some reason, Mick Vukota just seems to fall through the cracks and is just not thought of or remembered anymore. And it's a shame because he obviously was around for a pretty long time and was a good fighter in the NHL. So that is Mick Vukota, guys, now inducted into my Enforcer Hall of Fame. Largely underrated, largely forgotten, but definitely deserving. And with that, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description below. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon and merchandise store are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.